And with this, we'll move to the next session. Again, a very important session of the day. Since morning, we have had various sessions on cyber security, best practices of states, journey of digital governance in India. But this session is all about the urban transformation which is happening in India. A session on leveraging digital transformation for building smart and resilient cities of tomorrow. And for that, again, we have eminent speakers from Government of India as well as various smart cities across the country. May I invite Session Chair, Mr. Rahul Kapoor, Director, Smart Cities Mission, Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, to come on stage, please. Mr. Rahul Kapoor, a huge round of applause for him, please. May I invite Anindita Mitra, Commissioner, Municipal Corporation of Chandigarh and Chief Executive Officer of Chandigarh Smart City Limited. Huge round of applause for her, please. We have with us Dr. Sanjay Kolte, CEO Pune Smart City Limited. A huge round of applause for him as well. He has been listening to all the sessions since morning that I have noticed. We have with us Prashasti Pareek, CEO Dahod Smart City Limited. A huge round of applause for her as well. We have with us Mr. Parag Singh, Director of NDMC. A huge round of applause for him. I would also like to invite Mr. Zaidi, the Executive Engineer of Ghaziabad Municipal Corporation, to come on stage, and Mr. Ashish Agrawal, Director, Resurgent India Limited, to come on stage, please. With this, I hand over the session to Session Chair, Mr. Rahul Kapoor, Director, Smart Cities Mission, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Indeed, a wonderful opportunity here to talk a bit about the Smart Cities Mission with all the wonderful officials who have been doing all the hard work on the ground. A mission that was started in 2015, and over the years, a lot of learning that has taken place. We have all gone through the learning curve, experimented with numerous kind of technology and non-technology interventions, and learned from that. And today we are at a stage where this mission is becoming a movement. And to take this movement forward, the city leaders who have had several experiences and documented that very well, I think that's what we would like to talk about today, some of the good work that some of the smart cities have done. From the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, when the mission was started, it was considered a very, very different and unique mission. For the first time, it was a very multi-sectoral kind of a mission. With the idea of doing more from less, with the principles of affordable excellence, sustainability and resilience being built into it, and with the spirit of cooperative and competitive federalism, wherein the states competed with each other at multiple rounds of selection, and also cooperated by the way of the kind of engagement that took place with the citizens. So it was a very bottom-up kind of an approach. So for the first time, this was not a mission that was happening top-down, wherein the central government would decide on what projects the cities need to undertake, but it was actually decided in active consultation with the people, with nearly more than 12.5 million people who were consulted during these early stages. And from that, this mission culminated. And the whole idea of convergence, the whole idea of implementation of projects through the special purpose vehicle companies. So I think that was fairly unique when the mission started. It was not very easy in the sense that here we were beginning to talk about technology wherein there were very limited capacities and a lot of challenges with the urban local bodies. Even today, when you go down to a tier 2 or tier 3 cities, and even in bigger cities, because you're dealing with newer issues that come around, the challenges that come with technology and how they're trying to deal with that. So those learnings have been very, very important for us. So we are probably at a stage where these 100 cities that were part of the Smart Cities mission can become lighthouses and show how these demonstrable, replicable models can be scaled up and implemented in other cities as well. We have in the panel today, of course, the Smart City of Ghaziabad, which is not part of the original Smart Cities mission, but of course is replicating some of these wonderful initiatives. We have representatives from the industry who will be talking about some of their experiences in dealing with the government and in the views of the financing of such projects. So without much ado, I'm sure we would like to hear more from the real action that is taking place in the cities. So I'd like to just introduce the panelists today. So we have Ms. Anindita Mitra, of course, who's the CEO of Chandigarh Smart City Limited and also the Municipal Commissioner of the corporation. Dr. Sanjay Kolte, who's looking after the smart cities of Pune. He's the CEO. Mr. Parag Singh, who's the director in the NDMC and also associated with the smart city implementation work. Ms. Prashasti Pareek, who is of course the CEO of Dahod Smart City. Mr. Zaidi, who's an executive engineer in the Ghaziabad Municipal Corporation, who's present with us. And I'm sorry, Mr. Ashish Agrawal, who's representing the industry here with us today. So I would start with Anindita first. Anindita, I would like to understand from you how Chandigarh as a smart city has been looking at digital transformation, especially by using ICT. I mean, Chandigarh has got a wonderful integrated command and control center, but just would like to listen to you on how these ICCC initiatives or ICT initiatives have been successful in Chandigarh.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to my fellow panelists. Sir, Chandigarh has been bestowed with amazing infrastructure. If we look at Chandigarh on the national landscape, we find that it is probably the only or perhaps one of the two planned cities of the country, and to a large extent it still continues to maintain that character. So we had lovely infrastructure, we had a very robust infrastructure, but somehow we felt that we are not utilizing our infrastructure completely for the purpose of service delivery. We need to bridge that gap. So how do we do it? Of course, technology is the answer, ICT is the answer. So in the process, we studied a lot of ICCCs all across the country and tried to come up with a model which would be as good as theirs, if not better. So what we have done now is, we have focused on some core sectors and we are going to move on to some others. The first core sector which we have focused is policing. Chandigarh has the highest vehicular density anywhere in the country. I think about 878 vehicles per 1,000 persons. For us, traffic management was a huge problem. Chandigarh bears the brunt of traffic crossing through from Mohali, Panchkula, because we are at the center of the Tri-City. We are the capital city of 3 states. So what we did was we introduced our integrated traffic management system and we also integrated our adaptive traffic control system. I believe, I'm not sure, but the ATCS is the first fully functioning ATCS anywhere in the country as of today. So ITMS was a regular system of installing very high resolution cameras at all our high traffic points, and we take away the need for manual traffic control, because the camera instantly captures whether you have committed a traffic violation. The entire system is integrated with the NIC's database of registration, and the challan generation is almost near automatic. So the discretion or even the harassment to the police officer himself standing to manage traffic goes away. And as a result, we have found that people in Chandigarh and also who are moving through Chandigarh have become extremely conscious of the fact, and they have become more law abiding as far as at least the traffic systems are concerned. So that is a major improvement in the systems which we have. We also have integrated very high resolution surveillance cameras across the city, and in fact looking at all our major installations, and to such an extent that if there is a mob collecting somewhere, immediately the system, the intelligence system gives us an alert, and the ICCC and the police can send its forces. If there is an unidentified object lying for any number of seconds, which of course we fix, then automatically there is a trigger generated to the police, and the police can rush to see whether it is a bomb or it is just some innocent, inadvertent thing lying here and there. We have also integrated most of our, I'm sorry I missed out on the adaptive traffic control system, wherein the entire traffic light timing is no longer manually controlled. So if there is a rush on one way, then automatically the time given, green light time, goes up. So we have seen a distinct improvement in the flow of traffic. So people don't have to unnecessarily wait. We have also tried to integrate all our municipal services to give better facilities. For example, we are in the process of setting up FASTag based parkings, which shall all be monitored from the ICCC. At the click of a button through an application, the customer will know, the traveler will know whether I have a parking slot available in A block, B block, C block, or nowhere, and how much time is it going to take me. Also, all our garbage collecting vehicles are GPS mounted. Our tertiary water supply is completely SCADA controlled. Wherever there is a drop in the BOD, or sorry, I mean to say a rise in the BOD, our system gets an alert and we have to take corrective actions till till the BOD level comes back to the acceptable level. We are about to, in Chandigarh, launch the first of its kind 24/7 water supply project. First of its kind because it shall have 100% smart metering. Once we are done with the smart metering, every unit which is activated shall be monitored from ICCC for leakages. So there will be a drastic reduction in the quantum of leakages, both through physical intervention as well as through technology intervention, which shall in turn help us in monitoring our groundwater depletion. Having said that, we are moving on to our transport systems, our education systems, and we wish to come up with a system in the ICCC wherein all departments and their crucial data talk to each other, because somehow in government we have a tendency to work in silos. I have some information, I am not sharing it with some other person who might find it extremely crucial. For example, all Anganwadis should be able, the Anganwadi system should be able to, the education system should be able to monitor that an Anganwadi child is going to leave Anganwadi and move on to a school, so that no child ever slips out of the formal education system. This is the way ahead. With that, I would like to say thank you.
Thank you so much, Anindita. I think the ICCC has really been a boon in many of the cities, and you talked about how through the ATCS you have been able to reduce the congestion on traffic lights, the traffic light adapting to the volume of traffic. And in fact, a lot of financial and business modeling also, that has been something that I have been talking to many of the cities, that we need to build use cases that people can relate to. So with this, I think one of the cities, when I had asked them to do this study, they were able to assess that close to 5 crore rupees of saving was there in a particular year in amount of the fuel consumption that got reduced because of less idling time at the red lights. So several such initiatives, I think, in the smart cities, and Pune has been at the forefront. I am in Pune Smart City along with Dr. Sanjay as part of the board. And fantastic work as being one of the top cities in the first round of selection. You have come a long way. You've got a lot of experience and a lot of smart solutions getting deployed. How have these smart solutions led to the improvement in quality of life of the people of Pune, and how this can be basically replicated by other cities in the state of Maharashtra and basically across the country? So Dr. Sanjay would like to probably throw some light on this.
Thank you, sir. Pune Smart City being the first round city, we had that advantage to kickstart all our smart city plan and the projects immediately after the beginning of the mission. Smart street LED lighting was a major project which was implemented on PPP mode in the city, where more than 1.5 lakhs of HPSP and HPMV traditional lights were replaced by smart LED lighting with smart dimming facility and a centralized SCADA. So that has given the city saving in the energy to the extent of 58%. So that was a great advantage and energy initiative that was seen in the initial days. ICCC was another project which immediately went live from January 2019. And ICCC coupled with Smart Cities Operations Center and 750 smart elements from where the data is being gathered is another crucial such project where the decision making in the city or for the urban administration has been facilitated to a great extent. 18 departments' work has been integrated by way of the Integrated Command and Control Center. The major part being of the Municipal Corporation, followed by the Police Commissioner and the Meteorology Department. So most of the services like waste, water, the traffic related services, solid waste management, health, the COVID management was done as a war room in the Integrated Command and Control Center. So 863 data sets are created by Pune city and which are put on the India Urban Data Exchange. So it's a centralized decision making hub to a great extent. Similarly, Smart E-Bus was such another game changer in the mobility of Pune city. The first batch of 150 E-buses were procured by Pune Smart City in convergence with the Transport Corporation, and thereby also TCO2% of the city, certain routes where TCO2 percentage was very high were chosen for Smart E-buses, and it reduced from 7% to 4%. So that was another climate-related initiative which was able to result in reduction in noise pollution, air pollution. So that's one another project where which I would like to mention here. Then smart 24/7 water supply 24/7 is another project where, as ma'am mentioned, for Chandigarh, we are also implementing the same with smart metering and pipelines and centralized SCADA, which will be able to take care of the timely management and rectification of the defects in water supply wherever it takes place. This is again, similarly, data is at the center of all the initiative of Pune Smart City, and Pune has the open data policy like Surat, and more than 800 data sets being put on the open data platform, and various solutions and use cases have been developed in Pune, especially the flood simulation use case, which is able to provide us forecast about the possible floods 24 hours and 48 hours before the flash floods. Because it gathers data from the irrigation department of dam water discharges, water levels, then rain forecast data, and on the basis of this historical data and current data, this use case has been developed, and since for the last 3 years, it has been very useful for the urban local body to monitor the floods and the discharge water levels and the alert levels. The SOPs are operational and which inform all the concerned departments, and timely evacuation is possible. Likewise, similarly in the health sector, education sector, several technology initiatives are being implemented to automate and modernize the service delivery. PMC Care is another such citizen service delivery application. We call it 360 degrees application because it encompasses all the municipal or urban development related services. So these things are making a great difference in the lives of the citizen. On the infrastructure side, again, pedestrian safety and cycle friendliness of the city, overall greener transport and safer transport is the motto for us. Adaptive traffic management system is also we are going to soon execute. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjay. In fact, you talked about data initiatives, technology initiatives, non-technology initiatives like the cycling work that you have done as part of the Cycles for Change challenge of the ministry, or the Streets for People challenge, the Nurturing Neighborhood challenge. I would also like to just highlight one brilliant work that Pune had done under the India Urban Data Exchange program, wherein you were able to create a use case using all the startups in the ecosystem by opening up the data of Pune Smart City, and they were able to create a flood prediction model, wherein in areas where there were no environmental sensors available, but they could do some kind of predictive modeling because of the data that was opened up to the ecosystem, and they could co-create and come out with very creative solutions. So, of course, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to technology, one of the big challenges is also about how do you raise funds for such projects, because especially when you're looking at scaling up, and when you're looking at scaling up from a tier 2 to a tier 3 city with limited resources, how will you be able to manage it in a more financially sustainable manner. And for that, I would request Mr. Agrawal, who's a director, to kindly tell us something about ways to leverage finances for funding of these projects.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, good evening to everybody, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak among all the stalwarts of this smart cities. Actually, you people are making the life better of the general public. In many ways, actually, the technology is now the forefront for any smart city, actually. So, for anything to be done, the funding is the core, actually. Without the funding, it is very difficult to complete the project on timely manner. So, I'm representing a company called Resurgent India Limited. I'm director there. We are a SEBI registered merchant banker. We are helping the various organizations to raise funds from the domestic and international markets. And we prepare them how to basically be ready for raising funds at the lower cost and the longer tenure and all these things. So, friends, practically, you see, I would like to just ask one question from all of you, I think, because we are talking about smart cities, so we should know which is the first, world first smart city developed in the world, actually. Do you have any name, any idea, any name which you can give to me? No, nobody, no idea. Seoul. Yeah, Rio de Janeiro, correct. So you are right, actually. So that's why the word first smart city, actually. People should know when you are sitting in the smart city conference, and this should be known to everybody. So other than that, friends, so there are many ways of raising funds by the urban development bodies, actually. So practically they have three sources of revenue from which they are doing these projects. So one is that tax revenue, another is non-tax revenue, and third is grants, actually. But other than that, you need to leverage your balance sheet, or you have to be there in the market to do the large projects. But before raising funding or for going to market, I think the one major thing is the entire process is the credit rating, actually. Because you see that credit rating is the barometer for any funding agency. They see that what is your credit rating, what are the parameters, what are your financials, what are your ratios. So I think everybody in terms of in the urban development bodies or the smart city mission, whenever they are looking to raise funds from the outside, other than the internal funds or the grants from the government, they should work hard on the credit rating agency. There are 6-7 credit rating agencies are there for domestic market, and if we want to go for raising funds from the international market, then we have to have the dialogue with the credit rating agency which are in the other market, and we have to see that how they are what are the parameters which they are seeing whenever they are rating any municipal body, municipal corporation, or any urban development body. Because you see in the rating there are many things which they consider, actually. Your revenue model, whatever the expenses you have, whatever the project duration is there, all these things are very, very important. So this is one aspect which need to be keep in mind, and we should be ready with that, the rating which is acceptable to the funding agencies, actually. In our country, I too somehow, still the challenge is there that the funding agencies are believing on the higher rating. If you go on the other part of the world, even the lowest grade rating agencies, the lower grade rating corporations are also getting funding. The cost may be high, but they are getting funding, actually. So this is one aspect which need to be taken care well in advance before reaching to the funding agencies. We should see that who are the peers in our segment, and how they get this good rating, actually. What are their good parameters? We should try to work out on these parameters. It may take 3 to 6 months, but it is better to work out beforehand and then go to the funding agency. That is one area. And other than that, we need long-term funding, actually. For these projects, the funding is required for 20 years, 30 years, 25 years. In our country, I think somehow this is a challenge, actually. Long-term funding is not available. So it is better if you are raising long-term funding and large funding, that you should go for the international rating agencies also, and do the dialogue, start the dialogue with them, and get the rating which is acceptable to the international funding agency. The advantage is where you can get the larger ticket size of the money, or another is the longer tenure, and in some cases you can get the better pricing also. Other than that, there are some multilateral agencies are also there, like this World Bank, and there are other agencies are also there. So they are also funding at very cheap cost actually. So we need to have this understanding and the, I think, homework that which are the agency who, those can fund these kind of project, what are the ingredients they need for funding, and according to that we have to present them, we have to do the the presentations we should do on regular basis actually, whether we are looking funding as of today or not, but we should present them that what we are doing actually. So it will help in the longer run, whenever you go for raising funding, they will know you actually. So it is like a complete process which we should keep in mind always, and it will help you to, I think, get the funding on time, or the at the lower price, and the longer term tenure funding also. Other than that, I will say that the triple P, the public-private partnership in these projects will also a very, I think, a big help. Although there is some projects which are already there in triple P mode, but the number can also be higher than that, whatever is today. Because you see that whenever any private party, good reputed private corporate is coming, they have their own credentials in when they are going to the public market for raising money. That helps to them to bring the money in the project at the timely manner, and the project can be completed, and they can get the lower rate of interest also when they are raising funding actually. So these are some of the aspects which we need to keep in mind whenever we are going to raise funding for such large project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agrawal. I think very important points you raised here, because when you see how most of the industries function and how the government functions when it comes to raising of finances, so most of the government projects are funded by the government, but whereas if you were a company, you would probably look at leveraging the market funds to basically finance projects. And for that, certain things which need to be the building blocks with regard to the way the accounting systems are maintained in cities, how you are basically getting yourself rated so as to have a, which creates a confidence in the mind of investors that yes, this is the city we would like to invest in. And what that does is it basically scales up the overall investment size in your city, and you can have more long-term sustainable projects getting implemented there. So I think it's very, very important on how to get the house in order first. I think getting the accounting systems in place, getting the credit rating done, looking at avenues such as public-private partnerships, and building in investors' confidence should be one part of a very focused exercise on part of the city's concern if they are looking at raising funds for such kind of projects. Now, of course, Dr. Sanjay did talk about the various softer elements that make a city smart, such as making it more livable through cycling, having more pedestrianized spaces. And one thing that we all probably do like about Delhi is the number of open spaces, parks that are there. And NDMC has been doing some wonderful work in this field. So my question would be to Mr. Parag Singh, who's a director in NDMC, on how do you make a smart city or human settlements more inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable, and just share in 3 to 4 minutes on some of the thoughts that you have in this field. Thank you.
Respected seniors, dear colleagues and friends, thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. It makes me a little nostalgic as well. It reminds, I come from a very small place in this country called Azamgarh, a district in UP. And in my younger days, we used to have a village cinema. So that person who used to run that cinema used to run at his own sweet will, irrespective of who you are. Generally, it was an hour or 1.5 hours late. Same thing happened with me here. Second, there was a lot of backdrop noise. The same thing is happening here as well. Now coming back to my point. Smart cities is two different concepts. I'm a son of a professor, so I'm in habit of speaking for 50 minutes. Kindly bear with me. So smart and city are two different concepts. Smart generally comes from an acronym. It's an acronym for a longer word. Smart stands for simple, moral, accountable, responsive, and transparent. City comes from the root word citizens. Citizens means people who used to reside in a particular place, making it inhabitable and serviceable for the people around them in a symbiotic manner. And that's how the words kept on being invented, and that's the reason why when you see the history, in the, particularly in the Western world, you see the Greeks, had the city-states, they had the citizens, and the Romans as well, they were the citizens. And that percolated and somehow the things, but at the end of the day, the concept is derived from that place. So when we talk of smart cities, are we really agreed, or are we really in line with the concept of the smart that originally it means? I will answer this question at 3 stages. First, when I speak about the inclusiveness of the human settlements, the nearest and the most possible help that I get is from the digitization, that I get from the smart artificial intelligence. Here, cheaper solutions, affordable solutions, and encompassing solutions. And we have a 311 app. I'm just giving an example. We have a 311 app meant only for the citizens of NDMC jurisdiction. Moment you step out of my jurisdiction, that app does not function because there is a geofencing on that. It is one single app on which you can pay your water bills, you can pay your electricity bills, you can file your grievances, you can book an appointment with all the polyclinics, clinics, Ayush clinics, my maternity home, my secondary and tertiary care hospitals. Then you can schedule an appointment, you can look at your property tax, you can pay your property tax, you can raise your grievances related to property tax calculation. The licensees of this area can look into the license that is due, the payment that has to be scheduled. Everything is available on that app, and that app is very simple and user-friendly. That includes, and it is irrespective of the class or the level of the people who can use it or raise their complaint. And I can very proudly say that our disposal rate within 24 hours stands at 98%. We do get certain grievances like, please give me the assessment list of all the property holders in this area. So that takes time. So that is the reason why my 2% is not satisfied within 24 hours. This is how I include my human settlements into this. Now I come to the second point. Now second point is optimization. For optimization, we have an integrated command and control center with which the madam has already spoken elaborately on that. So I will not light a candle before the sun. I will only say that with that integrated command and control center, I monitor my street lights, I monitor my movement of garbage, collection, right from collection to that of disposal to the dump ground segregation. I monitor the attendance of my employees. I monitor the malis and the horticulture superintendents, whether they are there or not there. They maintain the parks properly or not. Even if there is a water logging at a certain area, my cameras do give a sensor. We go in for the damage control. So that helps me in optimizing my resource and mobilizing my resource, whatever limited resource I have, at a particular point which needs an urgent attention. Third and the most important point, sustainability. What is sustainable? How do you define sustainable? Sustainable to me is an optimum utilization of a resource without foreclosing our future options. I cannot be drawing, at present the global environment report says that I am drawing 40% more than what Earth sustains at of present. That means I'm borrowing from my future. Sustainability is not about borrowing. In the entire gamut of things of my digitization and optimization, of giving more facilities to my residents, what am I doing? Today's cities are identified by the amount of energy that they consume. They're not distributing, they're attracting. We are attracting energy, we are attracting waters, we are attracting resources which were due to the other areas, but we are drawing them by a simple reason that we have higher concentrations of human population that need to be served. So when I am drawing, my energy needs are going up, be it green, be it brown, be it black. Energy is an energy, and at the end of the day, I am only increasing my entropy. Even if it is a solar energy, it is increasing my temperature. And that solar energy is not totally green when I factor in the uses of photovoltaic cells and then the disposal of those cells. My e-vehicles, though even though they are called as a green vehicle, we are not figuring, or we are not factoring the source of energy from which the electricity is being drawn, and the batteries in which this energy is stored, and the recyclability of this battery, and the composition of these batteries. So to make this sustainable, first of all, we need to cut out on our greeds. How far are we going to walk that? Have we developed the alternate source of communications and alternate source of transportation for smaller areas, not large areas? We never speak about the sale graphs of bicycles vis-a-vis the EV bikes, because the bicycle owners does not figure into our set of economy. He doesn't fall sick, so hospitals are not required. He will not take insurance policies. That's different thing. But are we geared up to take those opportunities? Sustainability will always be an open question, because it is not the onus or onerous task of the sovereign to ensure sustainability till such time the citizens are not ready to walk that path. It's a shared responsibility, and it is a shared, because it is a shared future. And with this, I'll rest. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. I think that's very well spoken. And of course, you talk about smart cities and the cities being derived from citizens. Now, when you're talking about citizens, so sometimes this question is often asked to us, so do we need smart citizens rather than smart cities? But the question is, like, citizens have always been smart. It's all about the right kind of incentive. So the same citizen would probably behave or react very differently, maybe in a different country or a different place. Like if you go to Singapore, probably you would be more law-abiding than probably in some other parts of the country. So I guess if you have the right kind of incentives, right kind of models available, citizens have always been smart. They will make the right choices, and those incentives need to be aligned to your overall goals of livability, improving the quality of life, or even making it more sustainable and resilient. And of course, while we are in the topic of technology and digital artifacts that are today being deployed over here, one very important thing is the role of GIS in smart cities. And many of the cities have demonstrated it very differently. And one of the other cities which is not part of the smart cities mission, and I would not call them non-smart cities, because I am sure just like smart people, even the cities are all smart. And Ghaziabad has done some wonderful work with regard to the role of GIS and the use of GIS. So I would like Mr. Zaidi to kindly and briefly tell us something about the use of GIS in the city of Ghaziabad for improving the city of quality of life.
गुड इवनिंग सर, सबको नमस्कार। गाज़ियाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन, जैसा सर ने बताया कि स्मार्ट सिटी में नहीं है उसके लिए, लेकिन तब भी गाज़ियाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन ने GIS को लेके और अपनी जितनी भी टेक्नोलॉजीज़ को लेके काफ़ी अपने आप को इम्प्रूव किया है। और जहाँ हम लोगों ने इस GIS मैपिंग को 3 पॉइंट्स पे हम लोगों ने इसको कवर किया है EGNN के ज़रिए। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कि हमें अपनी को स्ट्रेंथनिंग भी करना है, कि हमें फाइनेंशियल बूस्टअप करना है। नंबर 2 कि पब्लिक को कितनी बेस्ट सर्विसेज देना है एक सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर। और तीसरा है कि हम अपने गाज़ियाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन को, अपने स्टाफ को, अपने एस्टेब्लिशमेंट को कितना हम इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं ड्यू टू डिजिटाइजेशन। इसके लिए GIS में हम लोग ने PTMS के ज़रिए सारे जियो फेंसिंग की पूरी प्रॉपर्टीज़ की, जो हमारे पास पहले 4 लाख प्रॉपर्टीज़ हुआ करती थी, वो आज की डेट में GIS फेंसिंग के ज़रिए में 6.2 लाख के अगेंस्ट में हुई। इन सब के सर्वे करने के बाद जो हम लोगों को अभी जो लास्ट ईयर हमारा फाइनेंशियल ईयर था 180 CR का टैक्स रेवेन्यू जनरेट हुआ था, वो जो हम लोगों को अप्रॉक्सीमेशन जो अभी हम लोगों का GIS का जो गाज़ियाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन का टैक्स है वो सबसे कम रेट है पूरे यूपी में। उसके बावजूद भी हम लोगों ने इसको टारगेट किया है कि 400 CR के करीब इसको ले जाना है। हमारे सारे GIS कंप्लीट वर्क हो चुके हैं। उसमें 4 लाख प्रॉपर्टीज़ को हम लोगों ने वेरीफाई भी कर लिया है। 2 लाख के प्रॉपर्टीज़ का ऑब्जेक्शंस उनके फाइल्स हुए हैं, उनको विद इन ए मंथ हम लोग उसको क्लियर कर रहे हैं। और अराउंड हमें होप है कि इस साल हम लोगों को करीब 350 to 400 CR के बीच में हम लोग को रेवेन्यू जनरेट होगा। ये तो हुई हमारे गाज़ियाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन का GIS मैपिंग के ज़रिए अपने आप को फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेंथ करना, सारी प्रॉपर्टीज़ को डिजिटाइज करना, उनकी जियो फेंसिंग करना, ये सारे वर्क कंप्लीट हो गए। इन्हीं के साथ पैरेलल हम लोगों ने रिमोट सेंसिंग के ज़रिए, रिमोट सेंसिंग सेंटर के ज़रिए हमने सारी सर्विसेज को जीआईएस मैपिंग किया है। सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट को उसके ऊपर पूरा कंप्लीट हम लोगों ने कर लिया। सारी सर्विसेज को हम वन प्लेटफॉर्म पे ऐप के ज़रिए, जो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली ट्रायल रन पे चल रहा है और मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली 2 अक्टूबर को हम इसको लॉन्च करेंगे फॉर पब्लिक डोमेन में, उसमें हम लोगों ने सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म पे उसको अपना जो भी एक पिन नंबर के ज़रिए उनकी सारी प्रॉपर्टी उसकी आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया। उसमें उसको अपना ही सेल्फ असेसमेंट करना है। अगर उसको लगता है कि वो कंप्लेंट कर रहा है, उसको सेल्फ असेसमेंट करना है, उसी का टैक्स होना है, उसी का ऑनलाइन पेमेंट होना है। इसी तरह जितने भी हमारी सर्विसेज हैं, चाहे वो म्यूटेशन से ज़रिए हो, पेट रजिस्ट्रेशन हो, एवरी सर्विस, डेथ बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट हो, सब कुछ ऑनलाइन वो सिर्फ एक सिस्टम पे आके वो कर लेगा। हम लोगों ने ये भी कर रहे हैं कि जितनी भी हमारी डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन व्हीकल्स हैं, उनके सारे व्हीकल्स नंबर उनके पास रहेंगे। जैसे ही गाड़ी हमारी मूव होगी, उनको उसी समय अलर्ट नोटिफिकेशन चला जाएगा। वो पता कर सकता है उसी सी ऐप पे बैठ के कि वो हम कितने वक्त पे वो गाड़ी हमारे पास आ रही है। कभी भी उसको अगर मान लीजिए किसी वजह से व्हीकल हमारी चेंज भी हो रही है, तो उनको वो नोटिफिकेशन जाएगा कि आपकी ये व्हीकल इतने बजकर इतने मिनट पे आ रही है। तो ये पूरा एक ज़रूर है कोई स्मार्ट सिटी में शामिल नहीं हुआ है, बट गाज़ियाबाद म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन किसी भी स्मार्ट सिटी से कम नहीं होगा। आई होप कि 2 अक्टूबर के बाद सब कुछ डिजिटाइज होगा गाज़ियाबाद में। थैंक यू सर।
बहुत बढ़िया. So of course, the question of what challenges do cities face while they're embarking on this technology journey, skills, capacity, I'm sure all of you must have faced them while you were implementing most of these projects. And we have Prashasti here from Dahod Smart City, who's also the Regional Development Commissioner. I would request you, Prashasti, kindly throw some light on the challenges that cities face while implementing such kind of technology projects to improve the quality of life.
Good evening, everyone. So, I am the last speaker today, and I won't take much of your time and energy. You must already be SAP. So, beginning on the challenges, and as I'm sharing stage with cities which are on the, if you talk about cities, smart cities, these cities will be must be among the first 10 names: Pune, Chandigarh, Delhi. And here comes my city, Dahod. Most of you must not have heard its name. Forget about smart city. Or if you are a keen observer on development economics, then Niti Aayog has listed Dahod as an aspirational district. So basically an aspirational district in its simplest form is a district which needs a lot of focused interventions, needs a lot to do on the socio-economic front. It's still on a backbench as far as development is concerned. So on the one end of the spectrum, it is an aspirational district, and fast forward, we have put it the top gear to make Dahod a smart city. So here brings a lot of challenges. So the location is also like that it is on the confluence of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. It's a border district, a tribal district. If I call about the city area, it is only 8 square kilometer, the city limits. Rest of it is a city, but not in the city limits. It is still rural. That also means that the economy is still agricultural. There are no industries there. Now, coming back to the point that amongst all these things, you must have already chalked out that what challenges that we are facing. So, for a simple municipality building, that we have to, municipality building, G+3 building, nothing smart about it, we have tendered it. Can you imagine we had to tender it 8 times to call a bidder? And then in the 8th attempt, we had a single bidder. And we are still struggling to make him work there. So a lot of challenges like that, and if a city is of 8 square kilometer, and then if we are taking some fundamental projects like drainage, water supply, roads, then obviously it will also impact the feedback of the people, because we have excavated almost entire city. There are narrow lanes, it's an old city. So often we also have to fight our own people to make them understand the benefits of head starting this city into the league of smart cities. But having said this, we have not compromised on quality of our projects. So we have taken both kind of projects, some very fundamental projects, need-based projects like water supply, drainage, roads, then social sector projects like education. So we have a very old primary school, like 50, 60 years old. So we have dismantled it, and now we are converting into a state-of-art facility primary school. Then teleconferencing based health facility, we utilize it well as a hub and spoke model during COVID also. And we have an integrated command and control center, which was recently in April being inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. And also we are the only ICCC which is green IGBC Green Building Council Gold certified. So that way, as Parag sir was discussing, so we have taken care of the sustainability aspect, that this building in the name of command and control center, it itself must not consume more energy. So we have the STP there, and we have also taken the rainwater harvesting project. So this is one kind of projects. And also then in a city like Dahod, where we do not have any fancy malls or even some tourism based points. So we have come up with the aspirations of the people, their needs, their sentiments we have addressed. So we are coming up with the tribal museum, because tribal is the demography of the district. Then we are coming up with a sports complex. Again, that would be state of the art in a city like that, so that even the people of this humble city, they can get benefits of sports facilities. Then we are also coming up with lake development in the heart of the city, where cycle track, running track, all these will be there, an amphitheater. And we have also addressed the revenue generation model has been taken into consideration here, because amongst the 100 smart cities under the smart city mission, this is the only municipality. All others are municipal corporations. Whosoever has worked in urban center knows that there is a lot of difference in the mentality, in the approach of a municipal corporation and municipality. Aspirations are there in the town based people also, but then there are a lot of difference in the approach. So we have addressed their sentiments, taking the community along. We have come a long way. We are close to the heart of the people, a river, an old river of the city that has been taken up for rejuvenation. So we have taken up projects like that. And amongst all these challenges, we are still leading with our head high and with hopes and aspirations that we will be able to convert this city ultimately in a smart city. So we are with a strong follow-up, with community support, taking all the leaders, stakeholders from civil society, from elected representatives and people along. We are moving ahead with all these projects. An integrated command and control center, as it has been discussed, we are also monitoring our garbage collection. We are disposing of legacy waste, education, and our smart buses, transportation, and law and order. And as I told, it's a border district on the Indore highway. So a lot of crimes were happening like that, crime and escape. So this has really helped integrated command and control center, the traffic signages that we have put in the smart city. So all these have helped us. So challenges are there, but actually I think it was a visionary step by Government of India, even if it was from the demand based, or as sir said, through a collaborative and consultative process. Whatever it is, say it luck. If a city like Dahod has come up, I think it will be a benchmark and a hope for the coming cities, because as India is getting urbanized, I can talk about my state, Gujarat, that we are amongst the leading urbanized states in India, almost about 50% urbanization. So it will be a trendsetter, a hallmark, and a hope for all such towns, that even they can grab such projects, execute such projects, and it will help in increasing the aspirations of the people and also realizing of those aspirations. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Pratishti. More from less. That is one of the key fundamental principles of the Smart Cities mission. This panel had, I think, a very limited time, and I'm sure they have done enough justice to deliver the most by the various range of topics that we discussed today, right from financing to sustainability to technology and the constraints that come along with it. All the 100 smart cities being very, very diverse in terms of size, in terms of demography, in terms of the kind of aspirations that the people have been demonstrating such kind of wonderful projects that would be very, very scalable and replicable in the other cities across the country. And that is why the right time has come to make this mission into a movement. And all these smart cities are trying to create those kind of knowledge products, those kind of enabling platforms, those kind of enabling ecosystems that basically catalyze the nation and lead it into the urban transformation that we aspire for. With that, we close this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, all the esteemed panelists and the session chair for this session, Mr. Rahul Kapoor, Anindita Mitra, Dr. Sanjay Kolte, Prashasti Pareek, Ashish Agrawal, Parag Singh, and Mr. Zaidi for joining us today. And as you have rightly said, it was an insightful session, and a lot of new aspects have come today in the discussions, not only about building smart cities, but it's all about building sustainable cities which can be resilient cities as well. And as most of you have said that we cannot make Delhi like Dublin, right? We have to make Delhi smart city keeping in mind the realities of Delhi, not the realities of Dublin. So that is how we have to move forward, and obviously technology, innovation has to be leveraged, but again, it has to be built in a way so that the sustainability angle is there, resilience is there. I think the pandemic has taught us that lesson like never before, that why the cities need to be more resilient and sustainable to make them, to call them smart cities. Thank you so much all of you for joining us today. I request Mitra Mohanty, co-founder, to come on stage please and hand over the digital leadership trophies to our eminent speakers of this panel. We can start with the session chair of this panel, Mr. But still, this is not the end, because special video address. They have not joined virtually, but they have recorded those speeches and sent to us. Ambassador of Croatia, Ambassador of India to Croatia is there, and the Special Secretary of UP. We still have those two recordings, so we have to play that.